Satnam Maharaj here. This is quite a potent day. It's a potent time in life. And I want to share with you, towards the middle end, I'll get into some of the astrology, but the feel of what is really up for humanity. I want to talk about the difference between believing and knowing and becoming. So when we are on this spiritual journey, our faith helps us believe. We believe we can heal. We believe in a higher power. We believe in ourselves. And over time, through doing Kundalini, and I'm going to really get into some other practices in the weeks to follow, because I have last year, from April 4th to May 11th of last year, I went through what you would call a mental breakdown. I got lots of subs. I had been sober again for a while, and who I was and what I was, it just wasn't working. And rather than go to the temptations I do, which is eat sugar or relapse or just give up on me, I allowed the falling apart to happen. I allowed the anger to come up. And in that, and I'll get more into that. I really want to write a book called The Art of Falling Apart, because I really feel, I think it's one of the gifts as an Aquarius. Aquarius is a very innovative sign, and one of its energetics, according to my teacher, is that we understand breaking down to break through. That's the Aquarian energy in its innovation ultimately is looking for its place to belong. And it's not, because it can be very detached, it's okay with a little mess because it electrically senses where we're going. And we all have Aquarius in our charts. And so, if you ever wonder where that energy is the most beneficial for you, schedule a reading with me. So right here and now, we are in sort of a breakdown day. And it could be a bigger kind of thing this weekend. Something really doesn't work. You blurt out the words to a mate. You say the thing to a friend. You confront the parent. You stand up to the boss and you're like, oh, crap. I just broke down something. And the thing with a breakdown is it creates a vacuum for the breakthrough. When we are on our spiritual path, we are going through these types of intervals and initiations, these breakdowns and breakthroughs. And over time, our believing, as it is held in faith, becomes knowing. Like, I know God is real. I know my intuition is the voice of my soul. I know what to do. And I don't mean that in a practical way, like I know a lot about money management or something like that. Like, I'm talking about what you know and I know on the most basic level. As we heal, we know what's right for us. We know the environments we need to be in, the people we need to be around, the way we need to take care of ourselves. We know when we need to wake up, and we know what we need to do in order for us to be maintaining the optimum amount of energy that is required for soul awakening. And if you're listening to this podcast, that's the name of the game, and that's why we listen to each other, and that's why we're together. So why isn't the believing that leads to knowing enough? Right? Because there was a point in my knowing that, oh, I know, Marcia, this way of thinking isn't serving you. You need to stop. Right? So Kundalini is a yoga of awareness. So it brings these things into our awareness. It's like, okay, that what one of my biggest breakdowns, I'm just going to out myself here. We all have lots of different stories, and the big stories like the sexual abuse and the stuff with my mom, supporting that, whatever, those were huge. And that colored a lot of my healing. This was something that was more subtle, and it was the underpinning of things. I would even say that what I needed to heal was not necessarily done to me. It was my perception as a little girl and a young child and a young adult that took what was being done and said, and out of my insecurity framed it in this way and then beat myself up with it. And what it was is my mom and my brother really didn't have a relationship with a higher power. My mom did in a Catholic kind of guilty way, but not in a loving, supportive way. And my brother absolutely was against it because of the wounds of his childhood. That was not him. So I was all higher power, all God, all magic. And then we were raised to really work hard and save our money and become really good things in life. My brother ended up, my mom didn't even graduate from high school. My brother ended up a millionaire with his own plane. And like, he went the frickin' distance. My brother was an entrepreneur when he was 10 years old. He used to have his own chores, and then he would outsource them to me and pay me less for doing them so he could also have a paper route. The man was genius, but there was a generosity about my brother that was just phenomenal. And some of their way of being was really restrictive to my spirit. Some of their way of being and thinking felt not authentic or doable for me. And because I didn't do those things, and I didn't amount to as much as my brother or my mother in some ways, I amounted to myself in different ways. My successes were what I wanted, but I didn't see the monetary value always, and money was everything in our family. Money is a big thing for a lot of families and a lot of people, and we need to right size that, and that's another topic altogether. But my point is this. Maybe you have something like this. So it wasn't so much they said, Marcia, you're not responsible. I don't remember them ever saying this. It was my perception of my lack of success in the similarity to theirs, and my opinion about why that was insulted myself. I insulted me. I judged my magic. I judged my life. So like when I became like the owner of a studio and I'm like responsible for this, I would literally beat my energy with a stick. You better market this. You better reach out to this. You better win, Marcy. You better be successful. And inward, I didn't realize I had this competition going with people that were dead, which is really sad, that I'm going to show you in my heart. I'm going to show you my brother, my mom. And first of all, they didn't think that about me. Second of all, when we do anything out of that space, it's destructive. So in the falling apart, I started to really hear the way I talked to me. It was super mean, y'all. It was mean. It wasn't accurate. And it was starting, like when I was younger, I could do it and I could actually be successful. Now, it was not only in my face how painful it wasn't even working anymore. It had to change. So this is where I come back to believing and knowing. So I knew what I was doing. I believed I should change. But knowing this did not change it. And this is part of what we're really going to go after in the 3-day. And we're going to touch on it today in the Tower of Light. So knowing isn't enough. Well, then what? Okay, so when we are really confronting a thought pattern that is destructive, and we know we need to stop thinking it. You know how that is? Stop thinking that. And you just think it and think it and think it. It's like this hamster wheel. What do? Well, first of all, I did more Kundalini than I ever had. What does that look like? I had an early morning sadhana at 5 a.m. and I would also do an afternoon sadhana from 3:30 to 5, okay? I also went to 2 to 3 classes a week. I was after it. Now, that was all energy. What it did was it kept tearing down the barriers between me and really feeling what it is I'm thinking, really becoming aware, really knowing it. Still, that's not getting rid of it, but it is giving me more prana. It is tearing down beliefs that aren't true. But in the end, it took really intense discipline. When I would start to think a certain way, I'm a big believer in God. So I would drop to my knees. Lord, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Please help me. And I would often put my forehead on the ground. Help me, Divine Mother. Help me, Divine Mother. I love Mother Mary, so I would say some Hail Marys, get back up. Sometimes, not before I was even standing, I'd be in it again, and I would drop to my knees. Lord, I'm doing it again. I had this beautiful journal with stickers and colored pens where I would write and journal about this pain. I would draw pictures of the destruction, and I'd also draw pictures of like a window opening up to a new path and a new way of life. I stayed at it. I energetically didn't let it go. So this was an area in which my ego had full range over me. It never was restricted. It didn't have to mind me. It was able to do whatever. And now all of a sudden, I'm coming at it like a steamroller. And you know what? It began to work. I remember one day when I was just in it and I was trying to promote this 3-day. I also was doing the 40-day. And because this is where this behavior was the worst, in promoting events at GDF. And I looked at Tony and I said, oh my God, I'm insane. I don't think I can stop being mean to me. And I'll never forget, he grabbed me by, hey, hang on you guys. Sorry, my cat's leaving me. Sorry about that. Sven just almost jumped out of the yard. Anyway, I said to Tony, I don't think this is ever going to change. And he grabbed me by the shoulders and he looked me in the eyes. He goes, you can't see you. I can. And I am watching you go at this like I have never. You're going at this like more than you've done alcoholism. You are like on it. Honey, it's working. It is working. I see the difference in you. Don't give up now. So that's what a spiritual friend is. And I hope that you have a spiritual friend like that in your home. And if not, I hope you make one at GDF. It helped me stay the course. I'm sharing this with you because I love me, and I know you love you, and you want to love you more. These are the things we must confront so that our love is real. I could not be in this love affair with me and treat me this way another day. And I teetered on, was this even fixable? And I want to tell you, there is fixing it. There is a methodology, and we're really going to get into that in the 3-day, between Kundalini, energy healing, breath work, journaling, and this certain process. And the only thing that will individualize it is you're the one that will make the chemistry of it. And what I mean by that is it's going to be, you'll feel yourself and you're going to know which of these things, you're going to do a little of all of it in the 3-day. You're going to use it on something that's really been hurting you after, but you're going to be the one that you're going to feel, oh, I need more of this part of it, a little less of that, and more of this. So like the recipe, the actual chemistry will be designed by you, but you will be given the tools that work. We're not told this. You know, sometimes we go into therapy and we think, oh, that's why I do the That's just the beginning. The unwinding of a very strong mental program is a situation. So what I want you to keep in mind, and I'll end with this, in computers, in the internet, do you know that nothing is ever really deleted? I'm sure a lot of you know that, but that's the truth. Nothing is ever deleted. The pathway to it is, the place where it is usually condensed and made really small so it doesn't take up space, but it isn't gone. And our minds are very much the same. You cannot delete the program. However, when we do this work, what we can delete is the path, the easy path to it. We can delete picking up the stick. The stick is still going to be there, but the pickup, how to find it, will be gone. That doesn't mean you'll never feel it, but if you do this work, you're never going to feel it in a way that you feel helpless or out of control with it. And that changes everything. And at the basis of this, there's one thing going on, and that is loving you. That's what's going on. This is where the rubber meets the street, right? If I love me, I'm going to stop beating me up. And this is how we bring Camelot to the earth. Camelot can't be here if we are all strung up in our own program chains, right? Camelot cannot arrive unless I trust myself and not just know, but be what I want to see in the world. Heaven is a place on earth, and I need to be that heaven. And I want to invite you to be that heaven too. So start with tonight. Let's do the Tower of Light. transformational breathing, an amazing journey with Mary Magdalene, a step into the mystical Avalon Camelot tonight might just be what your heart needs. I love you so much. Sat Nam.